This here is kind of playing with this little figure. Hi everyone! I am continuing to expand my journey through rock music, this time again in the 90s with a band called REM, which I'm listening to for the first time. Before I do that, let me remind you that if you want to continue to support my journey and help me out as I explore all of these bands, you can always check out my Ko-fi and Patreon membership pages. You will find there all kinds of content, including exclusive videos, which I cannot post here due to various copyright issues on YouTube, which is really terrible because they are important bands and I understand that it's an important part of rock music history, but that's the way it is. You will find them all there on my membership pages, as well as early access to various series that I'm doing currently and will continue doing. I'm always adding new content there. Anyway, back to this REM. Today it's going to be Losing My Religion. Interesting title. And as usual, Vlad has given me a little set of paragraphs of background information to read, and I'm going to go through that, and then I will do my very first listen. REM was an American rock band from Athens, Georgia, formed in 1980. REM was pivotal in the creation and development of the alternative rock genre. AllMusic states, REM marked the point when post-punk turned into alternative rock. In the early 90s, other alternative rock acts such as Nirvana and Pavement reviewed REM as a pioneer of the genre. Cliff Burton from Metallica mentioned them as one of his favorite bands in the mid-80s, saying, I have been listening to a lot of REM. I really like them for some reason. They are really good, I think. I'm curious, he didn't specify why he liked them. He just says for some reason. That makes me curious. I wonder if he would be able to articulate why, really, truly, why he liked them. The band broke up amicably in 2011, with members devoting time to solo projects after having sold more than 90 million albums worldwide and becoming one of the world's best-selling music acts. Those cicadas are loud. It's late summer. Losing My Religion, released in February 1991, is built on a mandolin riff. That's going to be interesting, rather than guitar, mandolin. The song was an unlikely hit for the group, garnering extensive airplay on radio as well as on MTV and VH1, due to its critically acclaimed music video. The single became REM's highest charting hit in the United States, reaching number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100, and expanding the group's popularity beyond its original fan base. At the 1992 Grammy Awards, Losing My Religion won 2 awards: Best Short-Form Music Video and Best Pop Performance by a Duo or Group with Vocal. It sounds like this video that goes with it is pretty important, which now I understand a bit why Vlad wants me to watch the video as I do my first listen. The music video was nominated in 9 categories at the 1991 MTV Video Music Awards. The video won 6 awards, including Video of the Year, Best Group Video, Breakthrough Video, Best Art Direction, and Best Editing. Losing My Religion also ranked second in the music video category of the 1991 Paz and Jop poll. Paz and Jop, that sounds like an interesting poll. I never heard of that before. Obviously, it's a mashup of jazz and pop. I'll have to look and see what that poll is all about. Anyway, well, let's see what this video and this music is all about.
whisper every waking hour. I'm choosing my confessions, trying to keep eye on you like a hurt, lost and blind. Oh, oh, oh no, I've said too much. I set it up. Consider this hint of the century. Consider this slip that brought me to my knees, failed. What if all these fantasies come flailing around? Now I've said too much. I thought that I heard you laughing. I thought that I heard you sing. I think I thought I saw you try. That was just a dream. That was just a dream. That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight, losing my religion, trying to keep up with you, and I don't know if I can do it. Oh no, I said too much. I haven't said enough. I thought that I heard you laughing. I thought that I heard you sing. I think I thought I saw you try. But that was just a dream. Try, cry, why, try. That was just a dream. Just a dream. Just a dream. Dream.
Such an interesting music movie. I wanted to say that before I dive into the music itself, because I was fascinated by it. There's so many references and allusions to classical art and different paintings and literature. It would be really interesting to do a deep dive into the video itself. I'm going to stick with the music today, but I wanted to put that out there and say that I'm not surprised, actually, that it won so many awards, because it had so many different layers and it brought so much into... How many minutes was that? 4 minutes or something? Approximately 4 minutes. Now, I'm not really solid on identifying the different subgenres of rock music regionally yet. I've listened to a lot of British music. I've listened to some American music. I just listened to Nirvana, which is from the northwestern part of the United States, and now this is from Georgia, so we're more southern rock. I don't know if this would actually be classed as the style of southern rock, but there was something about it that felt like the South. There was this sort of humidity about it. And being that I have just lived through a good Tennessee summer with all the humidity and warmth and thunderstorms and everything else. And some days you just feel incredibly wilted. I guess I picked that up in the music. Obviously, I knew ahead of time that they were from Georgia. But I think even just listening, I would have thought that it felt rather southern climate oriented. I think it has something to do with the voice and the way he sings. And I'm going to use this term wilted several times because I think it's very appropriate. Before I dove into this, Vlad just told me that the title, Losing My Religion, was not about religion itself, but that it is a Southern expression. I guess I've heard it a few times in my life, although it's not one that I hear very commonly in this region. Anyway, basically losing my temper or expressing frustration. I've lost my religion. I lost my religion. I'm losing my religion. It's the idea of kind of losing control of one's temper. Not being perfectly charitable or positive in the moment. Now, and that makes sense here because it seems to have a kind of depressed or sad element. And the lyrics as well seem to be about frustration, not being able to get what one wishes for. Someone kind of in love a bit and can't get to the person or can't build a relationship with the person for some reason or other. The lengths that I will go, the distance in your eyes. Those two lines at the beginning. The lengths that I will go. And then I look at you and see the distance in your eyes. I would go to any length for you. But you are so distant, I don't see it returned. There is that kind of frustration built into this. And that's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight. Losing my religion, trying to keep up with you. And yet, it's not said here, but it's implied that you are not waiting for me. You are not being attentive towards me as I try to catch up with you. And so, this whole mix of classical themes in the movie, as well as this title, which expresses frustration and kind of throwing up your hands and saying, I've had it, I can't do this anymore. And then the lyrics, which are rather unrequited love focused and frustrated and all of this. And then, well, then there's the music. And it's a fairly simple music. I guess the mandolin also, because of how I associate it with Appalachian music as well as Southern folk music. That might be another reason why I think of it as being kind of a Southern piece of music. Anyway, let's go back through and listen to it and pause along the way, and I'll try to pick out a few more things that kind of pointed me in that direction, and maybe I'll find some more the second time around as well. That little mandolin riff is kind of catchy, and it does have this little bit of a folksy flavor to it. Something like that, a little bit. And you hear it multiple times, and you also hear the strumming. It does give it a folksy quality. And maybe that's one of the things that made me associate it with the South, because of course I live in Tennessee and I am familiar with a lot of the just everyday folk music making practices and activities in this area. People have mandolins and fiddles and harmonicas and they make music just simple like that. But it has a nice gentle quality to it.
Oh, life is bigger. It's bigger than you are not me. The links that I will go to, the distance in your eyes.
One thing I noticed throughout this song is that there is not a lot of variation in the accompaniment. It is primarily a strummed accompaniment, and the drums have a consistent rhythm throughout, which is not expanded on or taken different places. It simply is providing a kind of rhythmic track on which everything else is built. The most flexible thing about this is the voice. And because of that, and the very warm, mellow quality of the voice, it stands out. Everything else is not hidden. It's not hiding away in the background. But the textural difference makes it so that the voice becomes a focal point simply because it has such a different rhythmic and tonal quality and melodic quality than everything else around. One of the things I notice about the voice is how there's a lot of attention given to subtle dynamic shadings, even within a syllable, within a word, never mind the phrase or the verse. Sometimes you barely hear the voice, other times it's full enough to carry as a melodic line.
Oh, life is bigger. It's bigger than you are not me.
And something about this melody feels very forlorn, very kind of, I'm going to use the term wilted again. I think it has to do with the fact that a lot of the times, every phrase and every even sub-phrase ends downward. Even from the opening, we have, oh, life, and we fall onto the word life. Oh, life is bigger. It tries to rise up and then it falls again. It's bigger. And then it tries to rise again. Let's listen to this.
Oh, life is bigger. It's bigger than you are not.
Even when it's staying up, then you are not me. It's as if it's just drying, and it can't gather the energy, the strength to remain elevated. Then you are not me. And so we end up descending again at the end of that phrase.
Bigger than you are not me. The links that I will go to.
Again it falls.
Distance in your eyes.
Again it falls.
Oh no, I've said too much.
Again it falls.
Set it up.
And even lower.
That's me in the corner.
That's me in the corner.
In the spotlight, losing my religion.
Why does it constantly fall? Spotlight, losing my religion. Down we go, down we go, down we go. Well, this idea of losing my religion, this doesn't strike me so much as a tantrum in the moment. It's not somebody who's just exploded, which is sometimes how we use this phrase. And I'm thinking, where did this phrase come from? Losing my religion. Well, you know, the idea that a religious person, a virtuous person, a devout person is always gracious, always composed, always in control, never indulges their emotional state. But this is not a tantrum. This is not an explosion. This is not somebody who just got fed up and got mad and made a big scene. This is more subdued, and the music is really insisting on that. I noticed it in the video too. The singer sitting on a chair, and all the different scenes which are playing with classical and all kinds of historical art works. You see them facing down or facing to the side or avoiding eye contact, not full of life and buoyant. I'm remembering the hand of that angel reaching down, coming down from the corner of the screen. I'm remembering the falling down scenes, even the end of life scenes. It's this feeling of the life is drained out of us, the spark is lost and gone, and we have nothing. And at the same time, there's this little bit of yearning, longing, as if something could be given us, we would come alive. That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight. Doesn't matter whether I'm hiding away in the corner or whether I am front and center. This losing my religion, this emotional state that I am in, is with me all the time. Whether I am in the corner out of sight or in the spotlight, I carry it with me. It is consuming me. I am overwhelmed by it constantly. I can't escape it. And the music kind of helps us get that feeling, which is being expressed in the lyrics. We feel it even more strongly in the music. I could read these lyrics and, okay, yeah, they sound a little bit sad, forlorn. But then I hear the music and this constant falling at the end of the phrase. Da-da, da-da, trying to get up, and it never rises over, never steps above. We're just down. Really conveys that emotion and that state of being. And the voice is doing a fabulous job of singing it effectively as well. There's not a sparkle. There's not a feeling of energized life in the voice. It's more of a sigh. this trying to keep up with you. It's almost as if you're seeing somebody on their deathbed and they are struggling to say the last few words, and we don't know if they're going to get through it before they expire.
Keep up you, and I don't know if I can do it. Oh no, I've said too much. I haven't said enough. I thought that I heard you laughing. I thought that I heard you sing. I think I thought I saw you.
This little bit here as well, where you have a little bit of a backing chorus. I think I thought I saw you. And you hear the harmony just a third higher. That also reminds me of the kind of folk style singing that I hear in this southern region of the United States. Country music, southern gospel, those styles of music use that a lot. Now this to me doesn't sound country and it doesn't sound southern gospel. But that little hint of very simple, straight harmony placed in there also is one of the things that gave me this overall aura of being in the South.
You laughing. I thought that I heard you sing. I think I thought I saw
You hear the harmony there?
you try.
There's also something else in that little bit. I think I thought that I heard you laughing. I thought that I heard you sing. I think I thought I saw you try. And in those lines, let's listen again. I'm going to back it up a little further. See if this is really what I think it is.
I can do it. Oh no, I've said too much. I haven't said enough. I thought that I heard you laughing.
Yes, in that moment, I thought that I heard you laughing. Suddenly, this little tune again. Only now it's rather a chord. Comes back. And on the harp, it's a lot more mellow, but maybe if I play it up here, you will hear a bit of what it sounds like in the recording, because everything else is subdued under the voice. There's the rhythm strumming. And then in that moment when I thought that I heard you laughing, suddenly there's this little spark of hope, this little ray of light brought in by the mandolin.
Too much. I haven't said enough. I thought that I heard you laughing. I thought that I heard you sing. I think I thought I saw you.
And then the chorus.
Every whisper, every waking hour, I'm choosing my confessions.
And then we lose it again. It's as if in that moment, I thought I heard you laughing. I thought that I heard you sing. I think I thought I saw you try. It's as if he's looking for a little glimmer of hope, a little reason to believe that he has reason to continue hoping, and then realize, oh no, it's hopeless. I can't do it. That's another way of taking this losing my religion phrase, because losing my religion, losing my faith, losing my hope that there is something that I can look forward to with you. And then I guess not. I lost all hope.
I'm choosing my confessions, trying to keep an eye on you, like a hurt, lost and blind fool. Oh no, I've said too much. I set it up. Consider this hint of the century. Consider this slip that brought me to my knees, failed. What if all these fantasies?
And you hear how this melody really never goes anywhere. It never progresses beyond these few notes in this range, trying to rise and then falling, trying to rise and then falling. And it's just in this narrow range, which, sometimes I have heard people fault modern music for having a narrow range. Overall, that is a criticism. A valid criticism. But then there are moments like this where it fits perfectly. And if you were to expand the range and take the voice higher and take it lower, it would make it too dynamic. It would not convey this sort of loss of life, loss of hope, loss of a reason to feel alive and to look forward to life. Just this complete wilting, psychologically, emotionally, even physically. Just, it's gone. In this song, I think that this very narrow range is entirely appropriate. And the fact that there isn't any significant harmonic development happening either. We have some simple chords. We have A minor, we have E minor, we have a D minor, a G, an F. We just cycle through these chords. It becomes a bit monotonous, and yet effectively so. And this is one thing that I feel like I want to emphasize. I point it out sometimes on this channel, but I want to emphasize it again. When I say that something is repetitive, when I say that something is monotonous, when I say that something is even dull, or there have been a few times when I said it was commercial, that doesn't necessarily have to mean that it's useless. It's simply acknowledging the truth of what it is. And then I like to look and see, is there a valid reason for it to be this way? Because music doesn't have to be purely entertainment. We're not looking for something to just keep us distracted and entertained. Music can be so much more than that. It can help us to explore emotions. It can reveal parts of ourselves to us that we never knew existed. And it can help us to understand different experiences that we or others go through. It can challenge us to think in different ways. It can develop us as human beings so richly. And sometimes in those expressions, musical expressions, artistic expressions, we can't always be expressing happy, dynamic, entertaining, enjoyable ideas that distract us from the monotony of daily life. We have to be honest, and art can be incredibly, brutally honest. And so, as I'm saying this here, that this becomes a bit monotonous and that it is depressing and lifeless, I'm not saying that in the sense that I'm criticizing it for being so. I am looking at that and seeing that that is a very important part of this musical expression, this artistic representation of an experience that probably not all of us feel, but many go through. And this gives a very well presented picture of some of the aspects of that kind of experience. And so, just because I say it's monotonous or dull or even commercial, doesn't mean that I'm saying it shouldn't exist or that it could have been better. Because perhaps it is intentionally like that for a specific purpose.
Failed. What if all these fantasies come flailing around? Now I've said too much. I thought that I heard you laughing. I thought that I heard you sing. I think I thought I saw you try. That was
This here it's kind of playing with this little figure. It's a little bit different. But again, it's the mandolin strumming chords that have a very gentle, sweet quality to them. A little bit fragile. Nothing that really can stand up well in a large room. A mandolin is a small, fragile instrument. You either have to have a whole chorus of them, or you need some foot stomping and fiddling to go along with it and give it some more resonance to fill out a room.
that was just
And it's kind of a nice little break from everything, just a small interlude. I don't think that I would call it a solo in its own right. This doesn't really have a solo moment, mandolin or guitar or otherwise. It's just this little interlude between what we've had up till now and then the final verse. Just these few notes. Nice and gentle, and then we go back into the sad story. This is one moment where the drums do back off a bit and allow a little room for the mandolin to sing out, because otherwise it would be drowned behind the drum set. Also, I like that little line. Da, 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 that you hear lower down as we enter into.
I saw you try. That was just a dream.
And then it continues as we
That was just a dream. That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight, losing
hear a few strings in the background here, and everything else, it's been going on for so long, everything starts to swirl together, and we almost feel like it's becoming a bit hypnotic in its repetition, just carrying us on in this state without any break, and we just sink into it, and it becomes who we are. And the strings kind of add a little bit of a swirling, fuller atmosphere behind everything that, well, it's a nice touch. Because we need it at this point. Otherwise, we would end up feeling like, I've heard this all before. Well, in real life, probably we feel like we've been through this all before, and yet another day. But when we're playing music, we want to hear something develop. And since the music itself is not developing, the melody is not developing, the harmonies are not developing, the rhythms are not developing, something has to come in to bring us to a close. And the strings coming in the background are just enough to let us know that there is something that has happened, that is happening musically, to carry us through to the end.
I haven't said enough. I thought that I heard you laughing. I thought that I heard you sing. I think I thought I saw you try.
There's the chorus again. And actually, I think these strings give it a little bit more of a romantic aura. Just as the video was drawing on classical scenes, which kind of gives something a romantic feel. If we see references to famous artwork, paintings, sculptures, then at the same time, if we hear strings come in, that gives it a sort of classical aura, becoming less of an immediate experience and more of a romanticized memory of an experience, where perhaps we have moved on in our life, but the experience was still very much a part of us, and now we're looking back on it from a distance, and there's almost a sweetness about it, even though it was so impossible in the moment. We look back and we almost remember the pain with a bit of sweet yearning about it, and the strings kind of bring some element of that in. We could take it other ways too, but because I have this idea of classical art and references in my mind, that's kind of where my mind is going at this moment.
I think I thought I saw you try, but that was just a dream. Try, cry, fly, try. That was just a dream, just a dream, just a dream.
Well, now, taking these lyrics that we have, that was just a dream. That's me in the corner, but that was just a dream. I thought I heard you sing. It was just a dream. Well, that's another way of taking these strings, to bring in the idea that that hope that we had was just a dream. We were just dreaming. We were hoping for it, and we manufactured the evidences of it in our mind because we were so desperate for it. And so it gives us sort of dream world feeling as well.
Fly, try. That was just a dream, just a dream, just a dream, dream.
I like the little bass there. I notice how even at the end, the mandolin itself comes down to finish the phrase on a downward turn. It is truly a well-designed song. It's good for expressing this theme, this experience, this moment in one's life where there is that feeling of just collapsing of one's dreams and hopes. And it's such a devastating realization that we don't even have the energy to throw a fit about it. We just lose we feel as if the life has drained out of us. We're just existing in this haze of sadness, loneliness, resigned to our fate, but without really any energy yet to pick up and carry on and rebuild our lives without this person, without this object of our desires and affections and love. Really well done for that, and it expresses it so well. In that regard, I enjoyed it. I don't think that it's something that I would sit down and say, I'm in the mood to listen to this, because it is more repetitive than are my tastes, just for, everyday pleasure listening. But perhaps if I were going through an experience which had some similarities to these emotions expressed, I would find it probably very comforting and very therapeutic to listen to it and immerse myself in this piece of music. Well, there I had my first exposure to REM via Losing My Religion. Really a nice mix of things, of sounds, qualities, emotions, instrumentation, voice. Very, very pleasant. And this interesting mix of very soft, subdued, along with a solid rock beat. Interesting to see the connections and the mixing of those there. I'm looking forward to the next stop on my journey, and, well, I'm sure it's coming up soon, so I'll see you next time.